Hey everyone, it's Matt with Redline Studios here in New York, here with another Take Two Tuesday. Take Two Tuesdays are where I'm going to revisit old projects, on-set incidents, and mistakes in the edit room that I would do differently if given the chance all over again. I'm hoping that if I revisit some of the mistakes I made along the way, or ones I've witnessed friends and colleagues make, you can avoid them. You can thank me later, or just send me a check in the mail once you make it big. Today's Take Two topic is this Take Two Tuesday topic is about something I wish I had learned sooner in my career: bartering with friends that are in film and television. When you're starting out as a filmmaker or artist, bartering is completely normal. You trade skills, you trade favors, you help each other out because everyone's broke, everyone's learning, and everyone's trying to build something. And unlike, say, painting, you can't really make a film on your own. Or let me just say, you can't really make a good one. Film crews often tend to be people around the same age because you often come up together. Whether it's through film school, mutual friends, or just random gigs, suddenly you're all learning at the same, making projects just to make them. And that's a good thing. And that is how you grow. And that's how you learn a lot when you're just getting going. But at some point, you stop being an apprentice and you start becoming a professional. And there's something that I wish I had really done sooner during that transition. Looking back, when I was doing that type of working relationship with friends, I had one friend in particular that I had bartered with early on. I honestly don't even remember the exact exchange. I think it was something like I produced a short film for him, and in return, he was going to do some graphic design work for me on one of my projects. I did my part and I produced his film. Then, when it was time for him to do the graphic design on mine, he did deliver something, but it wasn't quite right. So I gave him notes, a lot of notes. And then there were more notes. And after a while, he got frustrated. Not about doing the work, but about how many changes I was asking for. And I remember I said to him kind of innocently, but we agreed to a barter. And he said back, yeah, but when does it end? And you know what? In that moment, he was right. And I still think about that, but I did learn from it and I grew from it. Looking back, at that time when we were young and starting out, we were both right and we were both wrong. Now, what should we have done? And what I eventually learned to do was use a deal memo. A deal memo is a simple written agreement between two parties that outlines the terms of work they're going to conduct with one another. It's like a lightweight contract. It's not scary, it's not complicated, it's just simple and clear. Now, here's the big lesson. You should use a deal memo for everything. Big jobs, small jobs, paid jobs, barter jobs, friends, strangers, corporations, nonprofits. Use it all the time. A deal memo protects the relationship between two parties that are going to engage in some business practice, whether it's $5, $10, $100, $10,000. What it does is it clearly defines how many hours of work you are expected to do, exactly what is being delivered, how many revisions are included, and when the job is considered complete. That kind of clarity takes emotion out of it. There's no guessing, there's no resentment, there's no, I thought you meant this, well, I thought you meant that. It is a shared understanding on paper. And now I will say, when you are working and operating with friends, a lot of people are maybe hesitant to do this because they think it's going to bring a formality to a friendship. But a formality is a good thing. It shows the utmost respect and professionalism. It says, I value your time and I want us to both feel good about what we're going to do together. Another reason deal memos matter is memory. Projects stretch out. Time passes, many revisions get done, people forget what was promised, and a deal memo gives you something to point to instead of relying on memory or misremembered promises. It also sets expectations about important things such as hours, rates, overtime, duration, kill fees, early terminations, and the scope of work to be conducted. One of my favorite deal memos actually happens to be in a situation where I was the employer. I had hired a friend of mine who's a DP to shoot a documentary for me. Now, it was a low-budget project and I didn't have a lot of funds, so I paid him half of his normal day rate up front. Then I covered all of his expenses, his food, his meals, his travel, And I promised him that I would pay him the second half of his normal day rate when the film sold, and I recouped some of my expenses. Most projects make empty promises, but this one worked out exactly as written. I sold the film, I paid him the second half of his rate, and to this day, I've known him for over 20 years. He still brings it up and he says, you know what? That is the only project that I ever worked on where I was promised back end money and I actually received it from the producer. And you know what? That makes me feel good because honoring a promise to someone is a valuable thing. And it also helps you establish a good relationship in this industry. And I'll throw one other piece of information at you when a deal memo can raise a red flag. If someone pushes back hard against a deal memo, that usually means they want flexibility at your expense or they're trying to pull a fast one. A deal memo doesn't create problems, it actually reveals them early on in a relationship where you can still walk away. So, whether you're bartering with a friend, doing a low budget indie film, working for a major company, or helping someone just this once, don't be afraid to ask for a deal memo. It eliminates wrongful interpretation, it protects your time, it protects your relationships, and it helps you transition from the hobbyist to a professional in the world of film and television. Now, it's also the fastest way to ruin a friendship and a possible good relationship in the industry because you're working with someone without any boundaries. So, always get yourself a good, well-written deal memo. I hope you enjoyed this Take Two Tuesday moment. Although it's difficult to revisit the past and be critical about our own work and mistakes we might have made, I am often comforted by the idea that really there are no bad decisions, just good ones and ones that we learn from. Do you have a valuable production mistake you learned and you'd like to share it here? Please send it to me at insideredlinestudios@gmail.com.